today, thanks to the courage of so many of you, we're finally recognizing the right to organize in the United States Congress. That should be long overdue. But it sends a message that unionization and collective bargaining doesn't have to be antagonistic with people who are in management. Quite the opposite. It builds community. It builds trust. When you treat people fairly, when you treat people respectfully, they become better in doing their jobs, and it makes you better. That's, I think, the model that we need to show for the country. I want to thank, of course, the brave staff who shared their workplace experiences, good or bad, clearly illustrating the need for the protected right to organize and bargain collectively. If you don't believe me, just look at some of the Instagram accounts or other accounts. You'll know what I'm talking about. But it is long overdue that workers in our halls demand justice and fairness, just like workers everywhere else. I want to close with this thought. Imagine Andy Levin talked about the Starbucks workers who were organizing and the Amazon workers who were organizing. Imagine if you had something similar with their organizations. How about we have some of the vice presidents of Starbucks coming out and holding a press conference saying they recognize the right to organize? How about we have some of the vice presidents at Amazon coming out and say they recognize the right to organize? I'll tell you what, they have nothing to be fearful of, because they will see what those of us standing here see, that it will make their workplaces more just and better and more productive. So thank you, Andy, for your leadership, and thank you everyone who was involved in organizing for today. I now have the honor of introducing one of the great champions for working rights and justice, Congresswoman Cori Bush.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I have to say start with thanks to Representative Andy Levin. Thank you, Andy, for your, of the great state of Michigan, for your leadership and all of those who are organizing alongside you. We are here today because something extraordinary is happening. A worker-led, groundbreaking effort is underway here on Capitol Hill. Congressional staff are transforming our U.S. Capitol by unionizing to demand equity and protections in the workplace. And I'm so proud of our staff for their work to realize labor rights here in Congress and for those we serve. To the Congressional Workers Union, your relentless perseverance and creativity has been stunning. You have made history by organizing the first congressional offices ever to seek union recognition. At a time where the fissures in our democracy are clearer than ever, congressional staff winning a voice at work is among the most promising developments in making this institution more democratic. As an activist, as an organizer, and Congresswoman, and the proud daughter of a union meat cutter, I want everyone to know that I will continue to fight for the dignity, the safety, and the security of every worker, including and especially my own staff in my office. I am proud to see Black workers nationally leading the charge in the labor movement. Everyone deserves to have a seat at the bargaining table, and everyone deserves to feel empowered to fight for equity in their workplace. From Amazon to Starbucks to Capitol Hill, workers are demanding justice in the workplace, and I am proud to stand in solidarity with your courageous fight for union rights. Your fight for a better workplace and a better world for all of us is inspiring. Every worker on Capitol Hill and in the communities we serve will benefit from your will and your courage to organize and your push for your voice right here at work. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, I will call up my dear sister in service, none other than the amazing Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota.
So again, I echo the sentiment of many of my colleagues. Today is truly an exciting day. I want to start out by thanking Congressman Andy Levin for his leadership on this unionization effort and so many other issues. And I want to thank the congressional staff across offices who came together to organize and begin the process of forming a union in the United States Congress. I'm a former union member myself, and I believe every worker deserves a living wage and a union, including in the halls of Congress. None of the work we do in Congress would be possible without our staff. Congressional staff work long hours, tirelessly each day, and historically they have received inadequate pay and limited budgets. I am proud that workers in my own office have helped lead the union drive across Congress, including the chair, Philip Bennett, and I am proud that my office is one of the first 8 offices to begin the process of forming a union. I know the power that workers wield when they exercise their right to organize and form a union, and I know that this is just the beginning. Worker power is contagious. And know that I won't stop fighting for every worker in our country to have a $15 minimum wage at least, benefits like health care, pension, paid leave, and a union. Solidarity, solidarity, solidarity. And with that, I will call on Congresswoman Melanie Stansberry from the great state of New Mexico.
All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. I just want to say on this historic day in our nation's capital, labor is in the house. Woo! And not only is it in this house, it's in the U.S. House of Representatives for the first time in our nation's history. And I want to thank all of our congressional workers out there and everyone who has been working every single day to make this day happen. And I want to say how incredibly proud I am of my own staff of deciding that they are going to organize as part of this movement as one of the first 8 offices here in the U.S. House of Representatives. I am Melanie Stansberry, and I am proud to represent New Mexico's 1st Congressional District, and proud that we will see this moment in history come to pass. This is a particularly important and meaningful moment for me as somebody who grew up with parents who were both labor organizers. My mother was an operating engineer and my father was a boiler maker, and both of them took those jobs because of the union benefits and supports that were provided by those by belonging to a union. I learned the power of unions as a kid, and today across America we are witnessing the power of unions and the union movement in workplaces all across the country as our workers are organizing and young people are getting excited and involved in the movement, and now here even in the halls of Congress. I know from personal experience as a former Senate staffer what all of our congressional staffers do day in and day out, the long hours, the challenges that our workers and everyone inside this building and the buildings all around us face every day. Our staffers deserve a healthy, safe, fulfilling, and resilient workplace that is diverse, that represents our broad and diverse nation, and that supports the needs of our workers, and that they can be treated with dignity every single day in the workplace with conditions that reflect the public service that they provide for our communities every day. They deserve the right to collectively bargain and form a union, and I am here to stand in solidarity today and every day. It is truly humbling to be a part of this moment in history and to stand not only in solidarity with our congressional staff, but the amazing representatives who are standing behind me and also standing in solidarity. And I want to thank Representative Levin and all of the leadership that's represented here for your incredible leadership, and of course all of the staff who made it happen, because we are union strong.
Good afternoon. I'm Chuy Garcia from the 4th District of Illinois, and I'm proud to stand with my colleagues and of course Representative Levin this afternoon because both of my parents were Teamsters. I'm a former retail union worker, a Teamster, and a member of the United Legal Workers of Chicago when it was unionized by the United Auto Workers. It's important that we practice what we preach. And of course, like all workers, congressional workers deserve living wages and robust workplace protections. Frankly, it is shameful and embarrassing to hear stories that junior staff, young, motivated public servants striving to make a difference in our country, are regularly skipping meals or skimping by on reception food or even struggling to find decent housing. We have to do better. I strongly support the rights of congressional workers that are choosing to take this important and courageous step, and I look forward to working with my staff however they choose to move forward. I, of course, am totally grateful for all of their service over the past 3.5 years. And of course, congressional workers are in good company. We've seen organizing taking place all over this country. As a former union member myself, I support them. There's power in a union, and workers deserve the right to fight for respect and dignity on the job. Thank you. I now would like to call on Congressman Ted Lieu from California.
Good afternoon. Let me first commend my colleagues, Melanie, Ilhan, Corey, Andy, Chewy, Roe, and Alexandria for being one of the first 8 offices to take the first steps for unionization. I am not a labor lawyer and not as cool as Andy Levin, so I don't want to say anything inappropriate that'll get me in trouble, like MAGA Republicans are anti-union, and it's not a coincidence that all of us here are Democrats. So I'm going to read from a prepared statement that's been cleared by lawyers. I am proud to be an active member of the Labor Caucus. The freedom of workers to join together in unions and negotiate with employers is a recognized human right. That right is protected by the U.S. Constitution and enjoys wide support among the U.S. population. We have already taken steps this year to continue improving working conditions in Congress, including setting a pay floor for all offices and increasing the office budget that is used to pay staff salaries.